Hey everyone, welcome back and thanks for joining me for today's edition of FIFA 15 Super League with Manchester United. We are almost at the halfway point, we're just a few games shy of it, heading into our next game away against Juventus. I just can't believe how quick the season's gone so far, it's just flown by. But things have been going great. I mean, we're battling it out for a top spot at the moment between Real Madrid and Chelsea. Yes, it's still tight with the top three, but I mean, going by our recent records, the recent results, it's just been perfect. I do kind of worry that maybe a bit of a blip is on its way. Hopefully that's not going to be the case. Hopefully we can keep this momentum going and keep picking up those results that we needed. So as you know, our next fixture will be away against Juventus. It's always a game that I enjoy thoroughly whenever I've played against them as Manchester United in my past career modes. Always enjoyed it. It's always turned out to be one of those games, mainly when I've been playing at Old Trafford. But it doesn't really matter. It's just, I don't know, there's just an aura about facing Juventus. They're just one of those teams I find enjoyable to face on FIFA. Now, heading into this game, I knew there was going to be the threat of Tevez up front, former Manchester United player, Paul Pogba, former Manchester United player, and of course, Patrice Evra. Three former United players in the starting lineup for Juventus for this game. And of course, there was the threat of Vidal and Marquisio and Pirlo. Although Pirlo did start on the bench for this game, actually, which I thought at the time was a bit odd because I thought maybe the Juventus manager would have gone all out for this game and had such an experienced central midfielder playing against Manchester United. But Juventus were proving that they didn't need Pirlo on that pitch for this particular game because they'd already come up with a handful of chances which could have seen them 3-4 goals up before the 20th minute. But it was that man there, David De Gea, that was keeping things together for Manchester United in between the sticks. I just don't know what we would do without him. And with 14 minutes gone, Juventus had this free kick opportunity about 30 yards out. Tevez went for goal and it just went onto the roof of the net over. Didn't worry De Gea too much, but it was worrying for me because I could see Juventus were getting a bit restless. They were getting a bit edgy. They were looking for that first goal and they came so close again with that chance from Paul Pogba. He was doing his utmost best to score against his former side, Manchester United, whether Sir Alex was up in the stands or not. I know it's FIFA, but you could just imagine a big occasion like this for Manchester United. Fergie in real life would be at this game, and so Paul Pogba would be going all out, trying to prove that he was worth a little bit more and certainly had a lot more potential. But obviously we don't know what happened behind the scenes there. But anyway, Juventus eventually broke the deadlock and I knew it was coming. Of course they did, because they was playing better than me in this first half. It did take a bit of time for them to break me down, but they got there eventually. And Tevez hitting the ball first time, and it was a good decision by him, because I think if he decided to take a touch within the penalty area, I would definitely have been bearing down upon him, looking to make it even harder for him to get his shot away. And De Gea was just caught off guard, and we were trailing heading into the second half. Now, come the second half, with just over half an hour remaining, we had to pull out all the stops, I knew, because we were still trailing. And at the time, it was looking like it was going to be a Manchester United loss, and we could make do without that, especially with Real Madrid and Chelsea breathing down our neck. So as Rooney received the ball within the Juventus penalty area, it was Caceres that came in with that sliding challenge, and I don't think there was any intention to do harm there. I mean, he got to the ball first, and then I think maybe it was just the initial challenge afterwards, after the ball had been removed from Rooney, that made the refs mind up to award the penalty. It was a penalty, that's all that matters, right? And it was Rooney that stepped up and took and converted it into that equaliser we were desperately looking for in the second half. A bit of a relief from Captain Wayne Rooney for Manchester United and its fans, for me as well playing. I did think though for a split second as the ball was dispatched from Rooney's foot that it was just going to go wide and we were going to have egg on our face, but thankfully it crept in the inside of the post and found the back of the net, and we were back in this game with a shout against Juventus. Look at Rooney, how he was chasing down the ball, won it back as well, but he didn't have enough time as the keeper was coming out. So I went for the shot, and it was that weird FIFA animation, the weird awkward positioning of the body, but he still managed to get shot away. It could have been very effective, it could have been a goal, but there were just too many bodies in the area. Depay came up with that, almost a special goal from him, but the keeper pulling off a magnificent save. How on earth did he do that? But from that corner, Gundogan came up with that chance, seeking out that bottom left-hand corner. It was enough power behind the ball to find the net, but I don't know, the keeper was just... Both keepers were on top of their game, and the amount of times I've said this throughout this Super League season, it's just incredible. But it is amazing when, as soon as you switch to Legendary, how many amazing saves you see on FIFA. If you haven't done it, go try it out, because it adds like an extra dimension to the game, and it makes things more interesting, makes things exciting, and you can really get into the game. That's what I found anyway by switching up to Legendary. I'm sure some of you guys already have. If some of you haven't, go and just try it out. In the end, it was even Stevens at Juventus, ending 1-1, which meant that Real Madrid and Chelsea were, well, Madrid were level on points with us at that point. Chelsea and Benfica were just a point behind us. And look at Barcelona, they've really done well to play catch-up. They're in the top 5 now, just a point above Juventus as they drop points against us, of course. But you've got PSV, Liverpool and Shakhtar down in the bottom still. A week later in the calendar, Manchester United were back playing in front of their home fans at Old Trafford against FC Porto, and my word guys, you are not going to want to miss these highlights because there were goals. Let's just put it that way for now. So do stay tuned to find out what happens. Now, team selection for this fixture against Porto was pretty difficult. I really had to shuffle the pack because a day or so later, we'd be in Spain playing Real Madrid, which is an immense game towards our hopes of winning this FIFA 15 Super League. Some would say it's a 6-pointer of a game for either side, an opportunity to pull away from the other challengers in the league. And so picking my best first team for this fixture against Porto would certainly be detrimental towards that fixture against Real Madrid. So I had to call upon the likes of Januzaj, Ashley Young. Mata came into the side. I have Falcao starting up front instead of Wayne Rooney. I have Blind playing at centre-back as I replace him with Luke Shaw because I pushed Rojo over into that left-back position. Also, Rafael got his first start in probably for the season because I've been just sticking with Dani Alves and Valencia at right back. So there's certainly a lot of change in this United side, and I, at the time whilst picking it, thought we haven't really got a chance against Porto, but looking at their league position, I felt as though we could maybe snatch a 1-2-0 win against them. It's nice and simple really heading into our next game against Real Madrid. We did get off to a good start with 21 minutes gone, with the goal coming from former Porto man Radamel Falcao. It was a decent header, enough power behind it to find its target, bending the ball around the keeper who was rooted to the spot. Probably could have done a little bit better to prevent that from going into the back of the net, but it is what it is, and Manchester United were in the lead. That was the main thing, and that would allow us then to go and search for that second goal. To get a 2-goal cushion would have been vital heading in to the second half, but we were foolish as we conceded a free kick with 38 minutes gone. It was Dali Blind that picked up the yellow card, and it was a good opportunity for Porto to come up with something special here. It would be Danilo to step up and take. They had the step over. It was on target, but it was simple pickings there for Victor Valdez, who was starting as well for David De Gea, who I decided to rest for this game ahead of that Real Madrid fixture. And we did go in at half-time, 1-0 up against Porto. This game kind of reminded me of that fixture in real life where Manchester United played West Ham United in the FA Cup in the season 02-03. They were 2-0 up at half-time, and then in the second half, Manchester United just blew them out the water, and that's exactly what we did here with Porto. Look at Radamel Falcao playing that 1-2 with Gundogan, who left the ball for Falcao, made that run, made that space for himself, and that's so good to see. And he was doing that constantly throughout the second half, just creating those opportunities, those chances for Manchester United, and he did make it 2-0, getting his first goal since signing with United in the summer. And not long after that, we made it 3-0 with that finish from Ashley Young. I just decided to take the chance because there was nothing else going for Ashley Young. There was no other options. I was thinking at the time maybe I should cross it into the box, try and seek out the head of Valencia, who was in that 6-yard box at the time, but I decided to go for goal, and for some reason it found the back of the net. I was happy about that. Young getting the goal as well. 3-0 up for Manchester United, and before long it was 4. The goal coming from Antonio Valencia. Radamel Falcao just getting the better of his marker there, getting in front, getting hold of the ball and just passing it across the grass to Valencia. Yeah, it was a bit of a sweaty one, but it was a decent finish, and it was another goal to add to the tally for Manchester United. And not long after that either, Ander Herrera come on as a substitute and made his presence known, putting a goal to his name and making it 5-0 to Manchester United. And what a finish. You can see it on the replay. I think you get a better camera angle of it behind the goal. I mean, just look at how Ander Herrera skips past his man. He was surrounded by Porto players, but yet they failed to do anything about it, and he was able to get his shot away. With just 4 minutes to go and Porto 5-0 down, Christian Teo whipped in that ball for Herrera, and you know, Teo seemed as though he was the only player on that pitch for Porto that showed any sign of optimism. They were just poor on the day, Porto, and I think the occasion really got to them. We had this free kick and it was a nice set piece. Beautifully done, and it was Valencia getting his second goal of the game, making it 6-0. That's the first time, folks, I've managed to score 6 goals in one game here on FIFA 15. It's true, I haven't been able to do it until now, and what a game it was turning out to be. 6-0 against Porto. I never thought it would happen, but look at that for a piece of art from that free kick. Falcao taken, passing it to Gundogan, Valencia making that run through the middle. Porto just, they didn't know which way to look, what to do. They were like headless chickens running around on that pitch at Old Trafford, and we punished them for that. Look at the crowd. They were enjoying the day, enjoying the occasion, enjoying the result, as Manchester United would certainly come away with all 3 points and an increased goal difference, which could be crucial at the end of the season. We just don't know what's going to happen yet. FC Porto did claw a goal back. It was a consolation, if anything, with that finish from Abu Bakar. I think that's how you pronounce his name. That simple header into the back of the net. We let ourselves down, really, at the back. We really let things slide, as we certainly took our foot off the gas big time, and it cost us. And I kind of felt sorry for Valdez, as he couldn't hold on to that clean sheet. But there we have it. The final score, Manchester United 6, FC Porto 1. I'm not sure what I'm going to put that down to. Maybe put it down to the change in team selection and completely shuffling the pack, and players wanting to prove their worth and just really having a good time. I'm just not sure, but I mean, what a tremendous result. 6-1 against Porto. You can see we saw most of the possession. Man of the match went to Falcao. Porto fans probably won't be too happy about that, but what are you going to do, huh? Anyway, folks, that's it for this episode. Hope you've enjoyed. Don't miss the next one, as we're playing Real Madrid. It's going to be huge.